What's happening, YouTube? This is the 6th game in the series Novice to GM. I'm doing 4 players 6 cards against 2 beginners and 1 intermediate. So in the beginning I had troops in South America and North America that can go down. So I was able to take it in my first turn. I sent an alliance request to Orange, being that he was he was next to me in my border. And it's pretty obvious he's going to go for North America. Meanwhile, the yellow player is going for Australia, and he's 1 territory away from capturing it, as long as blue leaves it for him. This turn it was pretty obvious that blue had made an alliance with yellow, or they had reached an understanding, because blue leaves the continent and gives it away. Meanwhile, the orange player is building up and slowly but surely expanding, and he'll eventually try to capture all of North America. So I need to take advantage of my lead at this point and try to expand to Africa, and that's exactly what I did by taking some territories. However, I make sure that I do have a good defense in South America, because I don't want Orange to get any ideas of invading me. So at this point, blue accepts my alliance. So I'm allied with, I believe, orange and blue at this point. Yellow captures Australia, and blue still has his army next to him. And he is building an army right next to the yellow player, so it doesn't look like he is fully given up on taking Australia. It's quite aggressive of blue to do this. If yellow has a set, he could potentially take down that army in a few turns. So on my turn, I continue my strategy of expanding into Africa and trying to get as much of the lead as possible before the orange player actually succeeds on capturing North America, because I need to make sure that I have as big of the advantage as possible. In this turn, the yellow player makes a pretty big move, in that he does a bunch of risky blitz rolls as you'll see right now. So first he does a 4-on-3, wins that. And then he does a 3-on-2, wins that. Those are some really good dice rolls. But that's quite risky, seeing that blue's army is right next to him and he's doing all these attacks. He needs to be more careful, because if blue gets a 10 troop set of cards, then he can invade and fully take control of Australia just like that. And without Australia, yellow will be pretty much dead if he doesn't have a set to survive. Okay, this turn, orange feels comfortable to finally capture North America. He already has an alliance with me, so he feels comfortable enough to do that. I have a set at 3, so I build up troops to guard my continent in Africa, which I capture this turn, and then fortify like so. So now I'm balancing out the orange player. We are both getting the same number of troops. In fact, I'm getting more troops, having so many more territories, which is really good for me, because I'm going to be the strongest player. This turn was huge. Blue turns a set in, 10 troop set. This is exactly what I said would happen. He breaks through and takes Australia straight away from the grasp of the yellow player. So yellow is completely defeated. Orange almost had the ability to fully take out the yellow player, but it was a little bit risky, so he did not decide to take that risk. However, I do have that ability, and it's definitely worth it for 4 cards. I only lost 4 troops on that blitz roll, 1 more there, so I lost 5 troops, and I got 4 cards, turning in a set of cards. Unfortunately for me, it was the lowest possible set that I could get. Alright, so now I go and retreat back to my continent in Africa. I am still the strongest player, having Africa and South America, which is the same as holding North America. However, I have more territory, which means that I'm going to get a few more troops each turn than the orange player. Meanwhile, the blue player is continuing to turtle inside of his continent in Australia. The turtling strategy being that he only gets 1 territory a turn just to get a card, and keeps his army on Siam to protect his continent. Like, his army is completely blocked off, so he can't invade any of us, having his army blocked like that. So I'm thinking about whether or not to invade the orange player, because if I can do that, seeing that blue is blocked in Australia, then I might become the dominating player and being able to hold my continents for a few more turns. Then I might be able to get more troops than both of my opponents combined, and I might even be able to take out the orange player. So I was considering those options, but I didn't have a set the turn before this, so I didn't take that chance. Another thing to consider is how many cards the orange player would have, because if he can have enough cards, he might be able to retaliate and invade one of my continents. So that's everything that's going through my mind at this point. I do have a 10 troop set, so I can invade the orange player here, because I have at least 20 more troops than him, and that blitz roll highly favored me, so I'm going to get an even larger advantage. Orange, of course, ends our alliance. That was really obvious. That was something going to happen. However, he does not invade me into my continent, which is a bonus. I get to get 10 troops, and I can just straightly invade him once again. And he can't do anything unless he has a set. If he had a set, then he can invade my continent. Meanwhile, blue is not doing enough. He needs to be working with the orange player to weaken me, being that I am the strongest player. But he keeps his army blocked in Australia and doesn't attack me enough. And I'm fortunate to have a set. Orange finally is able to invade me, but at this point it's too late. He didn't have a set of 4 cards. That was really big, because I can turn in a set and take him out for his cards. I'll get 5, and that's enough to turn in a set. And then I can use the 4 continent strategy against the blocked Australia player. The strategy is where you take 3 territories to hold 4 continents: Ukraine, Middle East, and Kamchatka. So you'll see I'll have at least 14 troops on these 3 borders, and if I'm able to hold it, I'm going to get at least 20 troops in my following turn, against the Australian player getting only 5 troops. So this is the strategy you use against a blocked Australian player. He does have a set of cards, so this is his final attempt to break through. However, it doesn't go well. As you can see, he lost that blitz roll, and that's the end of the game. No more chances for him. I just fortify my borders just for 1 turn before setting up to take him out in the following turn, just to make sure that I win, that there's no chances of me losing on a blitz roll or something. But at this point, it's fully over. There's nothing he can do. So I turn in my set, place my 30 troops down, and go for the kill. It's over. Nothing he can do. Alright, I can show you my rank after this. I went straight up to 142,000. 11 win streak. Thanks for watching.